Okay, part two. I am so sorry if so part one is below or somewhere in my channel. I was in the middle of talking, recording, and one of these apps that I recently downloaded on my laptop was making noise, and it was irritating me, and I'm sure it probably irritated you guys. So I had to figure out what that noise was. I had to go turn off all those notifications, and in the process somehow my last video, my part one video, stopped recording. So here I am. I didn't want to start all over again because I just felt like, why start over? So here's two parts. If you're watching this and you haven't watched part one, maybe you want to go back to part one. I talked a little bit about life updates. I talked about some FlossTubers that I mentioned, just some things. So I'm going to keep going with haul. And so the last thing I talked about was Tiny Modernist chart for August. This next one, Ring-tailed Lemur. This is a Lindy Stitches. This is part of her Endangered Species Club. This was number 4. There's 2 more that will be coming out. This is a club that she did this year. And of course I signed up for it because I just thought, why not? You know, so far I've liked the charts that she's put out. She does some really cute charts. And so this is Lemur. And I do get, as part of her club, I did sign up for her club, so we get the chart, the paper chart, we get a sticker, and we get the fancy floss, which usually there's 4 hand-dyed floss. This one has Weeks Dye Works, and sometimes we get Weeks Dye Works, sometimes we get Weeks Dye Works and Classic Color Works, and I think those are really the 2 main ones that she used. So that's the Ring-tailed Lemur. I am part of the Just Cross Stitch magazine. So I've got my edition this last week, I think it was. This is the autumn. They call it autumn. Yes, autumn edition. And just want to show. Now, I don't do flip throughs because they are stitchers like Seasook Stitch. I know she does a flip through of these magazines. So if you want to know what's in these magazines, go watch Seasook Stitch because she will do flip throughs of these magazines and other things that she gets. And I keep these in a binder. I bought this at Amazon, and so I just kind of put it there. One of my pages is coming apart, so I figured I'd just leave it there so I won't lose the page. But I do put these in a binder, and I just use that to keep them there. And lastly, now I know you have seen this because it's floating around on FlossTube. Cross Stitch in the Forest by Max Pigeon. If you have not gotten this book, this is an awesome, awesome cross stitch book. There are some adorable charts in here. I first heard about it from other FlossTubes, but I will tell you, Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, she purchased this book and she did a flip through of this book. I have heard there's other stitchers or FlossTubers that done the flip through, but I watched Beth flip through. And because of her flip through video, I had to buy this. And I love it. You get it on Amazon. It's great. I do have one marked here. I can show you because Beth is actually going to do a stitch along. And I think we can pick our own chart. So I saw this and I thought, this is great. And this is actually, all your stitching is the color. This is all, what do they call it? Empty space or something? I don't know. There's a term out there. But I just really think it's cool because a lot of the charts are like this, where you just stitch something and it's got something, makes an image out of that. I think they call it empty space. I don't know what they call it. But there's a lot of cute little things, and I saw that and I thought, I am going to do that. See, kind of like this. This is really cute. You know, and you're really just stitching those trees and those lines and things like that, kind of form that. So this is a great book. I got this last week. Thank you, Beth, for doing that flip through, because truly, because if it wasn't for her doing that flip through, I would have never bought this book. When it comes to books and magazines, I like to see flip throughs. You know, I want to see what's inside, because if there's not going to be enough charts that I would stitch worth the cost, and I'm not going to buy it. But there's plenty of charts on this in this book that I'm going to stitch. And like I said, I am going to join Beth's stitch along. I did find this piece of, I think this is a 20 count Ada. I received this from a friend, Black Ada, so I got to get the kitted up, because Beth is going to start that sometime in September. All right, so let's get to the whips. I really don't want to make this a long video, but that is all that I had to share for now as far as haul and life and all that good stuff. So let's look at whips. Now, I did mention diamond painting. So if you're new to my channel, or, you know, if you've recently been with me for the last maybe year. All right, sorry about that. So I've been stitching for 3 years. This last June, made it 3 years. Prior to cross stitching, I diamond painted for about a year. It was just something that I was doing jigsaw puzzles. I was in a group, in a Facebook group that was all about puzzles. And then somebody introduced me in that group into diamond painting, and I diamond painted for about a year. I quit puzzling. I did diamond painting for about a year, and I loved it. Got very involved. It's kind of like stitching, you know. There's a lot of cost behind it, and you know, you see these canvases and you're thinking, oh, they're never going to come back. You need to buy them. So I was buying all the things, doing all the things. So I did that for about a year. And then one of the groups that I was in for diamond painting, one of the girls in the group, she would every once in a while post a picture of some cross stitching she did. And I was thinking like, oh, what is this? And so as I was seeing some of her stuff, and her stuff were very basic, nothing like what I've seen in the last 3 years, was very basic. But I started seeing her things, and I just started looking into cross stitching. And so I started digging into cross stitching. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing cross stitching for the past 3 years. I sold a lot of my diamond painting things, which I regret today. But you know, those are things that you do just because you think you're never going to do it again. And then recently, I've heard FlossTubers talking about diamond painting and things like that. And I'm like, you know, I need to start looking back into that. So I actually had a $5 voucher for Michael's a couple weeks ago. And I thought, maybe let me buy a small something diamond painting. And I did. I bought a box that came with 3 bookmarks. And I'm not a reader, but I thought, you know, bookmarks are great. I have coworkers that like to read, and I thought, you know, if they see these, they want them, maybe I'll give them to them. Maybe they can use them for raffles, because not raffles, giveaways. I work at a college, and so we do a lot of giveaways during the month for our students who progress from one level to another. And so one of my coworkers, she has a book club, and I thought, you know, maybe I can make a couple bookmarks. She can put them in the bag that she's giving away, just something nice to give away. I don't really sell my things. The same thing with cross stitching. I do cross stitching. I have them displayed in my office. You know, sometimes I get someone that comes in and compliments on what they see, and, you know, they like something. I say, oh, you want it? Here, take it, you know, whatever. I don't know. I just kind of do that. I just kind of give things away. So I made these bookmarks, and I thought they were so cute. This all came in a set. And so this is just kind of something that I started in the last couple of weeks doing. But yeah, so there's my start of diamond painting. I do have I don't know that I want to go to canvases right now because those can take a while. These I can do in a day. I do have some other things like little stars, or you make little things out of them. I just kind of thought for now, if I'm going to start diamond painting, just to kind of get my feet wet and get to it, let me do little things. So those are just my little diamond painting bookmarks that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so let me show you some whips. Actually, this is a staff and start and finish. I mentioned the Midsummer Stitch. So this was the Midsummer Stitch chart that Miss Tiny Modernist did for us. I really have to find a frame that YouTube can use for me. That's hard to do sometimes. Maybe if I sit here long enough, it'll take it. I don't know. But there's my Midsummer Stitch. I just picked up a piece of Ada, Black Ada, size 14. And I did use the called for colors. I just happened to have that in my stash. The one thing that I did not do, there are some like little stars here and there, kind of made it look like glitter. I didn't stitch that. I just kind of left those out. But there's my staff, my start and my finish. Now I have a dear friend in one of the groups, Miss Sarah Beth. Her and I have been talking on, through Facebook. And we kind of talk about her, hey, I like what you're stitching. And, and she shares some charts that she's finished. And so her and I have kind of entertained, say, hey, I finished this. You want to stitch this? Here you go. And I send it to you. There's a couple people that I do that with. I've recently been doing that with Sarah Beth, and I appreciate that. She's such a great stitchy friend. And so she's shared a couple charts. Miss Deborah, my dear, dear stitchy friend, her and I will share charts with each other as well. I think it's great when you find stitchy friends that you can share and pass along charts. That's what I do. And so these charts that she sent me, that Miss Sarah Beth sent me, if somebody wants to stitch them, they see them, they ask me I'm going to pass them along. So I started 2 of them. She sent me a couple. I can't show they're patriotic charts. She saw that I like patriotic things, and I had seen some of her patriotic finishes. And so 2 of them I cannot share because it's the actual chart. It's like on a card. There's no picture, but it is patriotic. But I started this one. Just want to make sure. This is Liberty Silk Pack by Little House Needleworks. And I had a piece of 14 count Ada French Country Mocha. So I picked that up. I actually had Classic Colorworks, a stash of that, and I was able to find 3 colors to go with this. So I did pick my own. But yeah, I just wanted to start that. It's a really cute chart. Thank you, Miss Sarah. And she also included a note card, and I just think it's so sweet when you get those cute little notes in the mail. She also sent me this chart called Land of the Free, which is also by Little House Needleworks. And this is also on the same 14 count Ada French Country Mocha. And I am using the same colors that I'm using for the other chart with the addition of the brown. I think there's 2 additional Classic Colorworks colors on that. So there's a couple more colors on this one, so I just added to that. So I kind of just keep this in the same project bag because they are sharing the same colors. So just a small start there, but I really like those. They're really cute. So that's kind of my, I guess that's a share. Happy Mail. Yes, Happy Mail. I did receive some Happy Mail. Thank you, Sarah Beth. You're awesome. And so let's go more into the whips. So here's Huga Holiday. I don't have a lot of starts on that. I did start in the middle, but this is Huga Holiday by Kathy Haberman of Hands on Design. And I am using a 16 count Ada by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. The color is Vanilla Cream. And I actually kitted this with Sullivan's. There was that this is Kathy provides the DMC floss, and then I just got the Sullivan's floss, which I really like. But they did her and Nicole Spore. I think I spoke about this in my last video, but they did an actual stitch along. As you can see, I did not stitch along. I did not catch up. I think they're done with the stitch along. And this chart is actually only available through the end of the month, and then Kathy is going to put it in the vault. So if you like this chart and you want to stitch it, please visit her website and purchase it, because they will go away for probably a year or so. But I just thought that was a really cute chart. That's what I started Midsummer Night, that Friday. I stitch on that because that was also the start of their stitch along. So I thought, why not just start it the night that they started? But that's all I've done on that. This next chart I had not stitched in a while, but this was actually on my Stitch the Summer Olympics. It's Let's Talk Stitching by Hands on Design. And I am stitching this on a 16 count Ada by Swigart, and I'm just using the DMC colors. And since you look, so I got this. This is actually my magnet tool when I drop my needles, and I thought, I really need a pointer, so I'm going to use this. But I stitched, since I last stitched on this, I think I just kind of stitched here, and then I stitched a little bit of here. I didn't really make a lot of progress on this, but it was just good to bring this out and stitch on it. I've been stitching on this for a while. I started this back in May of 2022. So it's been a while. And one of the things that I want to do when I talked in my part 1 video is I want to stitch on whatever, whenever. With me probably not going to really join a lot of challenges, or if any, what I really want to do is kind of look at some of these old WIPs that I have that are almost done, and I want to just finish them because there's a lot of things out there that I just want to start. I keep getting all these new things. I am going to start the Max Pigeon stitch along with Beth the Steadfast Stitcher. But there's a lot of things out there, some new things that I want to stitch on, but I don't want to keep starting things until I finish. So, but anyways, but I do want to bring some of those out and start finishing them. This next one I worked on is American Eagle, and this is a Twin Peaks Primitives chart. This was in their 2022 Patriotic Ornaments book. I really, really like stitching on this, and I tell you why. It's because I'm using a 25 count Lugana potato, and I'm using the DMC color, and I really like stitching on this chart. I don't know, this is a really nice stitch, but I finished the Eagle. I don't remember if I finished that. I know I finished the flag, and I filled in some more of this. But I really like stitching on this. So this will probably keep coming out. I feel like I can probably finish this quick. I will say that the chart is not very clear. I found that this book, the chart, is very hard to read, so I have to really darken it, blow it up to make it look good. But I like stitching on that. This next one also came out because of the Stitch the Summer Olympics. One of the prompts was to stitch something that reminds you of summer. And I selected this one. This was an exclusive for Stitching in the Wild Retreat in 2023 by Garon. And I am stitching this on the called for 16 count Ada by Woodschult touch of peach. And what I did is I finished this house here and I started working my way up there. And I am using the Call for Classic Color Works. So when this came out at the Stitching in the Wild, I just bought the whole kit. Which, by the way, Stitching in the Wild is coming up here in a couple of weeks, and I am sad that I won't be going this year. I had to give up my registration because just because of life changes that happened earlier this year with a new job, having to buy a new car. It's just everything just kind of went. And so I had to give up my registration. This year they're hosting their retreat in Alabama, which is where they live now, and I just could not make that trip. So I am going to miss my Stitching in the Wild friends. I am so jealous when I see them talking about it or posting things, and it's like, oh, I really wanted to be there with those friends that I made last year. So just, if they're watching me, just know that you will be missed. I am going to miss seeing you guys. Hopefully next year, maybe if I can get in, we'll see what happens. But yeah, they were the first face retreat that I attended. And so that's kind of where like my groundbreaking went, And so from there, I've just kind of gone from there. But it's because of their retreat, the way they made me feel when I went to that. I mean, like I said, it was my first face-to-face retreat, and I had a blast. I really had a blast. The stitchers were great. Everybody was so friendly. What Gary and Ronnie do for the group, I mean, it's awesome. And I'm jealous because it's in Alabama. They have their new store, but they're a great bunch. It's a great retreat. Hopefully I can make it next year. This next whip, I also like stitching on this. I am a big fan of the Stitchy Princess. If it's a Stitchy Princess and Tiny Modernist, I will say they're probably one of my favorites. This is Patriotic Angel. And she put this out as a secret design. And just because I enjoy stitching her stuff, I bought it. The word patriotic was in there. And I thought, why not? But I really love this. So because when I first purchased it, we didn't know what it looked like. But I love this. I love stitching on this. I enjoy supporting her, especially since she's had, really hard time with the Ukraine war and all that. I am a big supporter of her any way I can. I am stitching this on an 18 count Ada color hog bristle, and I'm just using the DNC colors, Call for colors. And that's where I am. And since you last saw it, I kind of just finished this section here. I think, I don't know. Maybe I just came over here. I don't remember. It's been a while. But anyways, I remember stitching here. I think I stitched here, but I don't know. I just kind of work on stuff. I mean, this is probably the reason why I need to do more current FlossTube videos, because I kind of remember what I'm doing. Maybe I just need to start labeling. I've got these little green arrow stickers that I've used before. Maybe I need to start putting them on there when I finish stitching so I remember. Unfortunately, I don't edit my videos, so I don't put in, I can't pop in a before and after. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see those before and after pictures. So follow me on Instagram. I do post when I stitch things. I do post before and after pictures with a chart. So down below, my Instagram is listed, but it is Joanne the Eclectic Stitcher. Just kind of keep it simple. So follow me on Instagram. You can see those before and after. Okay, we're almost done here. This next one was also part of the Stitch the Summer Olympics. And I'm sorry it's wrinkled. Okay, I don't iron my stuff. Just letting you know. So Snap Crackle Boom is by Annabella's. And I use this I actually used this for my red, white, and blue birthday month stitch. My birthday was in July, and so I was stitching anything patriotic. And so I did this for my birthday month, and I also stitched a little bit on it for Stitch the Summer Olympic. And I'm just stitching this on an 18 count Aida. The color of the fabric is Silver Moon, and I'm using DMCs. So there's that. Not a whole lot of progress, but this is also a small chart. I feel like these, I can just kind of just pick it up and just stitch. They're so easy. Some of these charts are so easy to stitch, and I just have to do it. But you know what happens is I start stitching on one, and then I stitch on one for like 2 or 3 days. And that's okay. It's just a way of getting more progress on it. So I don't really have no specific rotation. I just pick up a chart, and if it's on the Q-snap, like right now I have one on the Q-snap. I've been working on that this week, little by little. So just kind of do it however. Now this last whip that I have, this is actually one of my favorites. Just because, you know, I was never really into gnomes. But Laura, who is Stitching by the Shore, she stitches a lot of these gnomes. And so seeing her stitching these, I mean, they're just so cute. So I bought them. I started this in July for my birthday month. And I just really love these. These are USA. This is USA Gnome. This is by Wonderland UA. Now, I have heard Laura call it, I think it's Wonderland Stitch or something. I think they've given these up to somebody else, but it's all from, I think it's the Ukraine. I don't know. But it's Wonderland UA or Wonderland Stitch, something like that. But I'm stitching this on an 18 count Aida color cascade. Now, if you can tell, there's this background, this blue background. I am not, maybe I should use this. This blue background, I'm not going to stitch it. And that's why I picked this color fabric. That's an idea that I got from Laura, because Laura does the same thing. Laura does not stitch the background. She just stitches the gnome. And she tries to find a color fabric that kind of matches that background. And so when I started stitching this, that's the idea that I went with. I think that's a great idea. I don't have to stitch all that background. I can just stitch the gnome as long as I can find a fabric that kind of matches the colors. So not a whole lot of progress on there, just a little bit. I'm sorry to those that, like to see a whole lot, but, I share what I stitch, whether it's a little or a lot. So that's it, you guys. Look at that, 28 minutes. That's awesome. I like short videos, quick to the point. And if you have any questions, if you want to interact, please don't hesitate to comment below. Sorry about that. My daughter's going to work, so she was getting ready, making noise. I had to stop. I'm like, I'm trying to finish this video. Sorry. So yeah, if you have any questions, my email is below. I am Joanne the Eclectic Stitcher at gmail.com. Joanne the Eclectic Stitcher on Instagram. I do have a Facebook page, but I don't really post anything in my Facebook page. I only post on Facebook groups. So, but Instagram, YouTube, all the good things. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.